Tonight, heartfelt tributes from the young family of a 30-year-old father killed after hitting a tree near his hometown in the mid-north. The Premier standing firm on the state's borders as he releases a second round of taxpayer-funded travel vouchers. Troublesome Tinny, the rescue of a man from the Port River as his driverless boat circles out of control. And Trio's treasure, the hunt for not one, but 3 South Australians who don't know they're a millionaire.
This is 10 News First with Candice Wyatt.
Good evening. A small community in the state's mid-north has been rocked by the death of a young father killed when his car crashed into a tree. He's the second person to die on South Australian roads this year.
A horrific smash that's shattered Zach Onge's family, especially the 5 children he left behind. The 30-year-old was driving in the early hours of this morning when his Ford sedan collided with a tree on Tarlee Road at Kapunda. Emergency crews were called to the scene around 4:30 a.m, but he couldn't be saved. Some locals say the long stretch of road can be difficult to navigate, especially at night.
The bends do come up on you, and they're up and down all the way.
It'd be terrible. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Obviously, our roads are dangerous any time of the year, but sometimes during the holidays it's worse.
The road was blocked off for half the day as major crash investigators tried to piece together what happened in the moments leading up to the accident. Zach's 11-year-old son writing in a statement, "I love you very much, Dad. I just wish I could have got to hang out with you more." The victim's parents and 2 siblings say words cannot describe how they're feeling. Their hearts are broken and they will always love him unconditionally and forever. Just 4 days into the new year, this latest fatality brings the road toll to 2.
Yeah, you got to slow down there. It's really, it's notorious, that part of the road.
Tiffany Warren for 10 News First.
Premier Stephen Marshall remains committed to keeping the Victorian border open despite more cases in Melbourne today. The decision comes as interstate travellers become eligible for the second round of taxpayer-funded accommodation vouchers available tomorrow.
A majestic stay at one of the state's newest hotels could soon be on the menu. These new suites in North Adelaide, just one of the options on offer when more SA tourism vouchers are released tomorrow.
Going to kick off tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with round 2, and round 2 is going to be bigger and better.
The accommodation voucher's worth $100 in the CBD or North Adelaide and $50 in all other postcodes.
They can then start making their bookings between the 7th of January and the 31st of January, and then they can take their bookings anytime right through to the 31st of March.
It shouldn't just be accommodation providers that get access to this scheme. It should be expanded to $200, but it should also be made available to tourism operators and tour operators.
But there'll be no discount for the 4 new cases recorded in SA Medi hotels today, all travellers returning from overseas. This round of tourism vouchers will be open to all Australians, but more than half will be kept in reserve for those living in SA.
Interstate visitors to South Australia spend on average 3 times that of a South Australian.
The biggest spenders, Victorians, who accounted for 40% of interstate expenditure prior to COVID. The tourism sector's ready to rub elbows with them again, with no changes envisaged to the border at this stage.
The new cases in Victoria today, I'm informed, are linked to previous infections, and so not nearly as worrying as a new infection bubbling up.
Cam Inglis for 10 News First.
Victoria's 3 new cases are all linked to a diner who's believed to have brought the virus back from Sydney. There was a scare involving Melbourne's largest shopping centre after a Boost Juice worker tested positive. But shoppers at Chadstone are being told to isolate because the employee wasn't infectious at work.
We still have a way to go because we do want to reach for those 0 days. And to get to those 0 days, it will rely on continuing to get people to get tested.
The state's Premier, Daniel Andrews, is resisting calls to return from holidays, opting to monitor the crisis from his Melbourne home. But the government is confident the cluster has been contained. Anger is building across New South Wales as an increasing number of venues and individuals continue to breach COVID-19 restrictions, putting public health and the economy at risk. But there has been progress in controlling the state's latest wave, with no positive tests in the past 24 hours.
In Sydney's west, some locals are lining up at testing clinics, trying to get all of us on the path to better health. And the day started well.
There are 0 locally acquired cases in New South Wales today. Now, that is good news.
After just over 22,000 tests yesterday, no new cases of coronavirus were detected in the community. But since 8 p.m, 2 have been discovered, both linked to the Baralla cluster. So we're not in the clear just yet. A venue at Fairfield has been fined $5,000 for a wedding on the weekend, attended by up to 700, almost double what it should have been.
We have taken action and we've issued a fine of $5,000 to that operator to deter that sort of practice.
Dance floor footage of this New Year's Eve boat party is also being looked at by police, as video from a human nature concert at Rooty Hill also cops criticism. Criticism over social distancing, crowd singing and whether enough people were wearing masks.
It's going to be that 0.1% of the population that run weddings in Fairfield or run clubs in Rooty Hill that are doing the wrong thing and going to drag us back into lockdown, and look out if they do.
The concert venue has hit back.
There are only 1,200 people there within a 2,000-seat theatre. So it wasn't full. And we complied with everything and did above and beyond.
The key line of defence, though, remains testing right now, especially in Western Sydney. The message from authorities is for more people to come forward for testing. The patient who entered the BWS store in Baralla had no symptoms at the time and no reason to think they had the virus, and yet that is how the cluster there began. And more people need to be on alert. A movie cinema in Auburn among new locations. Anyone who was there to see The Croods in the morning on the 30th of December must now get swabbed and self-isolate for 2 weeks, regardless of their test result. The fear being there are more cases hidden but circulating in the community, and they need to be caught. Alice Hogg, 14 News First.
A man has been lucky to escape injury after falling from his boat on the Port River. Vision has emerged of the out-of-control tinny driving in circles in front of shocked witnesses.
A small boat causing a big spectacle on Port River. The tinny's driver, fallen overboard, left treading water.
Still going around in circles. I think someone might have fallen out.
Shocked witnesses spotted the driverless boat just after 1 p.m. yesterday.
Terrified. I'm like, from where I was standing, I couldn't see if he was wearing a life jacket. All I could see was this little boat, this little head floating in the water.
2 men saw the boating mishap and jumped into their hire boat to help ferry him to shore, followed by police.
Amazing. I think they're heroes. If they hadn't been there, that guy would have been floating in the water for half an hour.
The Dolphin Explorer was forced to swerve around the boats.
There's a couple hundred people on board. Yeah, it was a bit of entertainment for them. We saw a few dolphins, that sort of thing, but they weren't expecting a runaway boat.
The ordeal lasted half an hour. The runaway boat travelled from one side of the river to the other before police managed to get it under control. The driver escaped without injury.
It wasn't one of the big speedboats. He didn't have a lot of revs. It was just, he must have just been knocked and off he flew.
Beth Excel for 10 News First.
Police are hunting an arsonist believed responsible for torching a disused basketball stadium in Hillcrest. The fire began at the North East Road complex just before midnight. Fire crews managed to control the blaze, but not before it caused minor damage to the former home of the North Adelaide Rockets. The property's been on the market since last year. A man has faced court after a stash of illegal guns and drugs was seized from a northern suburbs property. Police found 3 firearms, ammunition and a significant amount of methamphetamine at the Para Hills property yesterday morning. A 41-year-old man was arrested and charged with a string of offences. He faced the Elizabeth Magistrates Court this afternoon. In a bizarre and desperate bid to cling to power, Donald Trump has been caught out trying to convince key state officials to find votes to overturn the election results. The US president's critics have labelled the extraordinary phone call an abuse of power.
In an explosive telephone call, President Trump makes his intentions clear.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
During the hour-long conversation, Donald Trump attempts to pressure Georgia's Republican Secretary of State to recalculate the ballots in his favour.
That's a criminal offense. And you know, you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you.
The votes in Georgia have already been recounted 4 times, including once by hand, but the president still raised previously discredited claims, only to be told they've been investigated and dismissed.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
The incoming vice president says all she hears is the voice of desperation.
And it was a bald-faced, bold abuse of power by the President of the United States.
While some in the media are calling it an attempted coup.
There are but 2 parties now, traitors and patriots.
With just 16 days to go until Joe Biden is sworn in, many Americans are fearful of just how far President Trump will go to try to cling on to power. Today there were calls for him to be impeached for a second time. All living former defense secretaries, including 2 appointed by the president, warned against Trump involving the military, which some see as a possible next step after Congress tries to certify the results on Wednesday. Vice President Mike Pence will preside over the hearing, and today he swore in new senators who plan to object to Joe Biden's win.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States?
A new House also took the oath.
The House will come to order.
With Nancy Pelosi narrowly elected as Speaker to a slim Democrat majority.
We begin this new Congress during a time of extraordinary difficulty.
Tomorrow, Trump will hold a rally in Georgia to campaign for the final 2 Senate seats up for grabs, with power in Washington hanging in the balance. Eamon Ashton-Atkinson for 10 News First, Washington.
3 South Australian residents or visitors have unknowingly entered the new year $1.5 million richer. The only problem is they don't know it yet. The trio bought tickets in Saturday's $30 million cross lotto draw, and each won big in the Division 1 prize. The winning entries were purchased in Bulletin, Arndale and Port Augusta. 2 of them didn't correctly register their details, while the thirds are out of date. The Australian Open is being threatened with legal action before the Grand Slam tournament has even begun. The Western Melbourne is booked to host some of the world's biggest tennis stars, who will begin hotel quarantine from next week. But 36 residents who own penthouse apartments in the building are furious. They are concerned their health will be put at risk.
We're going to fight it because it's completely illegal, we think. We just got told what was happening. I couldn't believe it.
But the government argues the Chief Health Officer has signed off on infection prevention and control measures designed to ensure residents are protected. An already reduced SCG crowd capacity has again been slashed as authorities do everything possible to make sure the New Year's test goes ahead. About 10,000 fans will be let in per day, and those from COVID hotspots will be turned away.
Sydney's largest annual sporting event is getting a lot smaller.
What we're trying to do in our public health strategy is making sure that you don't have a super spreading event.
Originally slated to go ahead with a crowd capacity of 50%, it's now capped at 25. That's around 10,000 fans per day, a long way from the last cricket match held here in December.
We've hosted more than 20 events during the COVID period and welcomed nearly 150,000 people through our gates without a single incident of transmission.
People from at-risk areas where there have been confirmed cases in the past 14 days won't be let in. That covers many suburbs in Greater Sydney. For those who do make it,
when people are actually moving around the venue, they will be strongly encouraged to wear masks.
The New South Wales acting Premier is confident the SCG can host without a hitch.
Like the NRL Grand Final, Origin or the Everest or other race days, the Big Bash, we can and we have shown that we can run events in this state in a safe way.
The New Year's test is a pilgrimage for many people from regional New South Wales, but today the government asked cricket fans to reconsider their journey in light of what's happening in Sydney.
Players and staff from both teams have given everything to make sure this series goes ahead.
I know there's a few people from both squads who have been in a bubble for close to 6 months now, but in my eyes, it's a very small sacrifice.
At this point, the teams will travel to Brisbane for the 4th test at the Gabba as planned, but Sydney's on standby should it need to host both.
We've ensured that there is a contingency plan so that if there is a requirement for a second test here, we'll be ready to host it.
Chloe Bailey for 10 News First.
Now here's Katie previewing tonight's sport, and you'll have more cricket reaction from the players.
Yes, Candice. Nathan Lyon says both teams need to suck it up when it comes to tough quarantine rules, but there are reports the Indians don't want to play ball. The Strikers return home after being left in a spin by the Sixers. And Tommy Urich cools off after a red-hot return to life in Adelaide.
Thanks, Katie. Coming up in 10 News First. Relief efforts hampered by flooding as Cyclone Imogen bears down on northwest Queensland. And the battle to contain a bushfire threatening lives and homes in Perth.
The celebrities have been given a good old-fashioned Aussie welcome.
Oh, screwed.
They've been bitten, hissed at, thrown out, covered.
Here come the spiders, all right.
And creepy crawled.
Ash, you've got a spider on your head.
And it hasn't even been 24 hours.
We are just getting started.
Oh, let's go, Doctor!
We've already revealed some big names. And there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by one.
A new celebrity will be revealed.
This place is kind of like a 5-star eco retreat, but just without the retreat or the 5 stars.
A new celebrity will be revealed on 10. It continues 7:30 tonight.
Choosing insurance, Keith, it's worth a closer look. Because if you break down, some don't offer free roadside assist for a year. Oh dear. But Amy does, with a new Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance policy. You can even track their arrival. Does your insurer offer free roadside assist for a year? Amy does.
At Image Robes, you can get built-in robes designed, made and installed, all on a budget to suit you. Image Robes are the manufacturers, so there's no middleman, with over 40 colours to choose from. Call or visit Image Robes for an in-home measure and quote today.
Save up to 50% off at Lazy Boy's New Year sale, like the Taylor Power Recliner now 50% off. Or save hundreds on the Martelli Modular and $2,200 off the Annika Suite. Celebrate these savings only at the Chairman and Jaffers Furniture.
When you need money for the unexpected, time can seem against you. Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble small cash loan up to $5,000 within 60 minutes once confirmed. Visit nimble.com.au.
Indoor blinds, outdoor blinds, call Better Blinds. What's better? Our buy two get one free sale is on now. That's buy two, get one free. Locally made and installed. Call for your free measure and quote today. Better Blinds. They're simply better.
You searched a place nearby. You found a renewed love for Australia. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers nearby from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Discover the Adelaide Hills during Crush, a summer weekend of stylish wines and regional produce. Experience the best of the hills at over 20 iconic wineries and venues. Crush Festival, 22nd to the 24th of January. Here are some of today's weather photos from across South Australia. If you'd like to share your own, you can join our Adelaide Weather Watchers group on Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram at 10 News First ADL. Or you can tag me using the hashtag #SAWithKate.
The JobKeeper wage subsidy is nearing its expiry date with a $200 a fortnight cut to the payment from today. There's been no commitment from the Morrison government to extend it beyond March, but the Social Services Minister hasn't ruled it out yet either.
The end of JobKeeper is in sight.
We are transitioning away from the emergency supports that JobKeeper was.
A final slash to the historic payment is coming into effect from today. Full-time employees will go from $1,200 a fortnight to $1,000 before the tap is turned off at the end of March.
Today's cuts to JobKeeper are premature, will hurt workers, will hurt businesses, but will also hurt our economy.
Despite COVID-19 clusters emerging in New South Wales and Victoria, the federal government is confident.
We've seen nearly 750,000 jobs have been created over the last 6 months. 85% of people who lost their job at the start of the pandemic or have had their hours cut to zero are back at work.
But if it doesn't keep going well...
And we'll continue to monitor the economy to make sure that the supports that we're providing Australians are appropriate.
Unemployment is tipped to hit 7.5% in the March quarter. New data has revealed the recent lockdown in Sydney's northern beaches cost the state's economy $3.2 billion. And with no end in sight to the stop-start border closures, there are now growing calls for a national border agreement. And while the federal government agrees, it's made it clear it won't be overstepping.
We also need to remember that the coalface health response that occurs around Australia is undertaken by the states and territories.
Scott Morrison has outsourced the national responsibility for our borders. We have a so-called national cabinet that won't be meeting for a month. That hasn't met for a month in the past.
National Cabinet isn't due to meet again until early February. Stella Todorovic for 10 News First.
A bushfire emergency is unfolding in Perth, with homes and businesses evacuated as 3 fires burned across the city overnight. Claire Doole has more.
Candice, the extremely dry conditions and gusty winds are making things very challenging for fire crews. Today, around 100 firefighters were actively battling the blaze here in Kwinana, south of Perth. Overnight, the fire front moved quickly, burning through around 250 hectares of bush. The fire is now contained but not controlled, with fears embers may spread to the neighbouring industrial area. There are also concerns about toxic fumes in the area because the fire has burned through the local rubbish tip. Compounding the situation overnight, another blaze just south of Kwinana. It's believed this fire was deliberately lit, but crews were able to bring it under control fairly quickly. There was also a third blaze in Perth's Hills, which forced the evacuation of a local aged care facility, with firefighters using air support to bring it under control. So a very busy night for WA firefighters, and there are fears the worst may be yet to come, with strong winds and dry conditions predicted for the next few days. Candice.
Gale force winds and soaking rain have battered parts of North Queensland, with Cyclone Imogen making landfall overnight. Thousands of residents were left without power, and while the system has now weakened, experts say the threat is far from over.
Soaked but smiling. Swears Island in the Gulf of Carpentaria swamped. As Tropical Cyclone Imogen closed in. The Category 1 system crossed the coast close to Karumba around 9 o'clock last night, dumping more than 250 millimetres of rain over Normanton. Wind gusts of up to 100 kilometres an hour uprooted trees and left hundreds of residents without power.
There's about 1,400 houses without power at the moment. Ergon briefed this morning to say that they have to get the helos in to have a look at where the damage is before they can, bring back the power.
The system, downgraded to a tropical low, is now tracking across the Cape, with a flood watch in place from Cooktown to Ayr. And while the cleanup is already underway, the threat is far from over.
Winds may have weakened, but the rain is going to continue ramping up in the coming days, with widespread heavy rainfall and likely flash flooding expected across much of far northern Queensland.
In Cairns today, signs of the wild weather arriving. Barron Falls in full force, and Earlville underwater. Emergency crews further south are on high alert. Townsville could be next to copper drenching, with the potential for falls of up to 400 millimetres over the next 72 hours.
We cannot stop the waters from rising. All we can do is go out and assist people.
Samantha Butler for 10 News First.
Ahead in 10 News First, the UK facing even tougher restrictions, while elsewhere in Europe, people have had enough. And controversial WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange just hours away from learning if he'll have to face a US court.
Hello, we've seen a light drizzle about the peninsulas today, including on KI, otherwise a dry day for the state. Clear skies above South Australia tonight as a high pressure system slowly starts to shift into the Bight, although there are some little areas of mid to upper level cloud about inland districts. The city dipped to 17 overnight before reaching a top of 21. The average top temp for this time of year is 28. Around the state it was cool and gusty at Ceduna, reaching 23 degrees. There were light showers about Coober Pedy yesterday with 2 millimetres in the gauges, but today it was dry and 27. A warmer 30 degrees recorded at Port Augusta. In the lower southeast, Mount Gambier remained dry, 19 degrees. Parts of KI saw a light shower today, a mild 23 in the Barossa Valley. The heat will return by the end of the week, though. I'll have that full forecast coming up soon. Don't go away.
On the next Studio 10, life in the lockup. The women with the toughest job in the country tell all.
Kerry Mulligan goes bad.
I wanted to be a doctor my whole life.
Lately, I've been feeling like I might want to get back into it.
Plus, Chris Rock on his battle with addiction.
You have to tell the truth.
Tomorrow on Studio 10.
Your dad wants me to download a playlist. Oh, no. Nah, it'll take ages.
Not on 5G.
So many things that I can't touch I'm all out of faith.
You and me, Darren.
This is how I feel.
Your iPhone 12 Pro deserves Australia's best 5G.
I love to be as efficient as possible in life and health. That's why I choose Ferrograd C, Australia's #1 selling therapeutic oral iron supplement with added vitamin C to aid iron absorption. So be iron efficient. Choose Ferrograd C.
The story of Australia
is the story of me.
It's the story of you.
It's a story of we.
In parts, it is painful.
In parts, it is raw.
In others, it's beautiful.
Inspiring, great awe.
It tells of many people.
From far and away.
And those who've been here
since the beginning of time.
It brings us together.
And tears us apart.
We all have our views.
So where do we start?
By listening to each other.
And sharing our part.
We're all part of the story. Australia Day.
Real love is sharing your passion. Letting someone see every side of you. Knowing you can be yourself. Every 14 minutes, someone finds love on eHarmony.
After 4 decades of world firsts, Mitsubishi brings you an Australian first. 10 years warranty with 10 years cap price servicing. Mitsubishi Diamond Advantage. Built and backed for the time of your life.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's the last days of our Boxing Day sale, with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. You'd better get a move on. Amart Furniture. Sale ends tomorrow.
Enjoy more family time this summer. Take the night off with Hungry Jack's Family Bundle. 2 Whoppers, 2 cheeseburgers, 4 small chips, 4 drinks, 10 nuggets and sauce, only $24.95 at Hungry Jack's.
It's the final days of Anaconda's massive 20 to 50% off Boxing Day store-wide sale. Huge savings on camping gear, bikes, kayaks, fishing gear, clothing, footwear and more. Some exclusions apply. 20 to 50% off Boxing Day store-wide sale. Final days at Anaconda.
A new celebrity will be revealed.
Let's go!
Find out who, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Welcome back. After enduring harsh lockdowns over the festive period, life could be about to get even tougher across Britain. Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to implement even tougher restrictions in a desperate effort to curb the ever-growing COVID crisis in the UK.
With a patchwork of mismatched rules and mixed messages, the only thing clear in Britain right now is the scale of the crisis.
Frankly, the government has failed to do.
Well, with the greatest respect, Andrew,
well,
the government has done everything we can.
But not many believe that.
It has all the hallmarks of delay and dither and poor decision-making.
Daily cases have hit more than 50,000 6 days running.
If you look at the number of inpatients, COVID patients in hospital beds in London, that has increased by over 45% over the last 8 days.
Today, the first doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine will be given in the UK, but patients face a 3-month delay getting their second dose needed for immunity.
We have suffered a shambles of vaccines being promised, cancelled, rearranged, first doses, second doses cancelled.
Even a former PM is ripping in.
We need to mobilise resources on a scale that we've never seen before in peacetime in this country.
It's not just the vaccine rollout that's botched. In pockets of England, people are free to go to the pub and hit the shops. Here in London and across large parts of England, people are already effectively living in lockdown, and the government is considering bringing in even more restrictions later today.
But I think it's a necessary evil.
If that's the way we've got to do it, then I'm kind of on board with that.
The people are suffering the desperation and depressed.
The immense frustration and fatigue of lockdowns is being felt around the world. Hundreds of protesters rallied in Prague, raising a glass in protest to bars being shut.
They are desperate, and the government, they just don't want to see it.
In Germany, police were called in to stop rebellious skiers sneaking onto the slopes. While in Italy, the Pope has expressed his sadness at rule breakers and surely praying for some divine intervention to help curb this crisis. Phoebe Bowden for 10 News First, London.
Julian Assange is just hours away from finding out if he'll be extradited to the US. The WikiLeaks founder remains in custody in London, facing charges relating to the publication of classified documents a decade ago. A judge is due to hand down her decision, with Assange's lawyer saying it will be a verdict on Britain's commitment to a free press. His supporters are calling on President Donald Trump to pardon him in a bid to spare him from a potential sentence of 175 years jail. An Australian who advocates for women who have renounced their Islamic faith has been arrested and charged in Tanzania, where she was born. Zara Kay was taken into custody a week ago and later charged over a satirical social media post critical of the country's president. The Monash University academic is also believed to have been charged with using a SIM card not registered in her name. The Australian Department of Foreign Affairs is providing consular assistance. A family of 3 has been killed after their private plane crashed into a home in the US state of Michigan. It happened just under a kilometre away from the airport where they were due to land. It's still unclear what went wrong. Authorities arrived to find the house engulfed in flames before bringing the fire under control. Amazingly, everyone inside the home survived the crash. Ahead, the day's finance news, including the latest on the Australian housing market. And Sydney-siders passed the first test of mandatory masks with flying colours.
Let's go! We've already revealed some big names, and there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by 1.
A new celebrity will be revealed. Find out who, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Haggleco's massive mattress sale is on now. Queen mattresses, $169. King-size wool pillow tops, $3.99. Bamboo latex pillow tops, $5.99. Quilts, all sizes, $49. Haggleco's massive mattress sale is on now. Electric adjustable bases, all sizes, $9.99. Australian-made mattresses, half price. Headboards, $1.99. And bamboo latex pillows, $19. On now at Haggleco.
The Sleeping Duck Mac 2. This is the best mattress, built to the highest standard. The Breathe Tech cover, it unzips and goes in the wash. Anti-gravity surface foam, it cushions like memory foam, but allows you to move freely like latex. Component adapt customization system, the motherboard multi-zone pocket spring system, featuring twice tempered steel springs. Sleeping Duck, supporting your active life.
When this happens, don't panic. Remember, myglazier.glass. Myglazier.glass. Broken glass, we fix it fast. 7 days a week. Fast, reliable service for home, office, industrial, insurance. They'll come to you. So when this happens, don't panic. Myglazier.glass. My Glazier is your glazier.
At Drake Supermarkets, we've got ingredients for the pool days and the cool days. The days that never seem to end and the days you don't want to end. Drake Supermarkets.
Ingredients for every day.
Are you ready to get wedgied? Nova 919 presents the Big Wedgie. 4 inflatable water slides, so family fun for all ages. Open these school holidays. Visit thebigwedgie.com.au. Our biggest savings event of 2021.
Adelaide's biggest blind and awning sale.
The end of year, once a year sale. Burns for blinds. All 2020 blinds and curtains must go, will go, regardless of price. All indoor blinds saved up 50%. All outdoor blinds saved up 50%. All security doors and screens, even curtains.
Nobody beats Burns for blinds.
All blinds, all shutters, all security doors, all curtains.
Phone Burns for blinds now.
The once a year end of year sale will end soon. Don't miss it.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
Light and Easy made it pretty easy for me to lose it. I didn't have to think about it. The weight just kept dropping off.
I was really surprised with the results that I got with Light and Easy, and they do come quickly.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today. What is the Cube? Our community needs your support. Buy $2 tickets in the People's Choice Community Lottery and go into the draw to win great prizes. Search Community Lottery and buy your tickets today. Special thanks to our Platinum partners, CMI Toyota and Harvey Norman.
Here are tomorrow's speed camera locations across Adelaide. And a reminder that you can catch up on any of tonight's stories by searching for 10 News First Adelaide on Facebook or join the conversation on Twitter at 10 News First ADL.
Hello there, I'm Gillian Bowen with your finance news. The Australian property market is showing its resilience in the face of the pandemic. Home values finished the year 3% higher, with all capital cities bar Melbourne recording annual growth. But it's our regions setting the pace. According to CoreLogic, home values there have risen almost 7%. Economists at one point were predicting a 10% decline as COVID-19 restrictions, a recession and plunging consumer confidence made the property market volatile. CoreLogic says containing the virus and record low interest rates have been key to the rebound. To the ASX 200, it's been a pretty good start to the trading year for the new year. The big banks and miners doing well. Fortescue shares hit a record high. Some travel companies with lockdown pressure were lower, while tech stock Link Administration plunged after a takeover bid was taken off the table. Before we get to the dollar, let's have a look at what's happened to Bitcoin overnight. The digital or virtual currency has soared to a fresh record high. In Aussie dollars, that's more than $44,000. The suggestion is traders and investors are betting Bitcoin is on its way to becoming a mainstream payment method. So how is our dollar performing against the other major currencies? It's buying just over 77 US cents, and that's finance.
This is Adelaide's 10 News First. Tonight's headlines. Grieving family have paid tribute to a 30-year-old father killed after hitting a tree near Kapunda. It's the state's second fatality this year. A second wave of taxpayer-funded accommodation vouchers will be released tomorrow. Interstate travellers are now eligible. And witnesses have recounted the daring rescue of a man who fell out of his boat in the Port River. Just one day into compulsory masks in New South Wales, and police have praised the public for its COVID compliance. Officers have described most people's behaviour as magnificent, but it came with a stern warning for those who think they can flout the rules.
Instead of issuing a fine, this officer hands out a mask to a confused customer before the patrol leaves the shopping centre, satisfied everyone is respecting the rules. COVID compliance was also apparent on the morning commute.
Face masks are mandatory on public transport.
Beauty salons, barbers, among the places where a bare face is now forbidden.
The worst thing I hated, I get my glasses fogged up, but I suppose it's a small price to pay.
As of 12:01 this morning, the public health order in relation to the mandatory wearing of masks became enforceable.
Enforceable with a $200 fine if police had the power to issue those yesterday. This anti-mask protest in a major shopping centre could have cost thousands.
My freedom to take my family out will be denied if we have to go back into lockdown. So anybody suggesting that wearing a mask is denying them their freedoms doesn't understand the definition of the word freedom.
While some people might be angered by any breach of mandatory mask-wearing rules, health authorities are asking the public not to jump to conclusions and leave enforcement to police.
If you cannot wear a mask due to your medical condition, police are not going to take action against you.
And to make masks more accessible, this inner-city pharmacy has started a pay-it-forward system. Every one purchased will be matched with a free one for someone in need.
So the idea is that we're going to help people in the community who can't afford a mask.
A reminder that kindness and generosity can also be contagious. Paris Martin for 10 News First.
Oscar winner Kate Winslet is being tipped for a return to the podium thanks to her performance in the new movie Ammonite. The 45-year-old plays a scientist who struggled to have her discoveries recognised during her lifetime because of her gender.
She's been left out of the history books, but Mary Anning's fossil discoveries in the early 1800s are among some of the most important in paleontology. Now, with Kate Winslet in the lead role, her story is finally being told.
It was a sea lizard, 6 feet long. Days it took to dig it out. It's in the British Museum. That one was special.
She lived in a world of men. She was a woman of scientific brilliance and made pioneering
discoveries in the world of paleontology. But those men would buy her finds and claim them as their own discoveries.
But while the movie tells the true story of Mary's work, it also tells the imagined story of a forbidden romance between Mary and a young woman called Charlotte Murchison, played by Irish actress Saoirse Ronan.
Gay women that I've spoken to in particular, they've said that they've never seen an intimate and otherwise relationship like this before between two women. And so that's an incredibly important step to make in film and for our audiences.
The pair given free rein to choreograph the love scenes themselves. And you've spoken about how, in a way, you felt safer doing these than heterosexual love scenes that you've done in previous films. What did you mean by that?
It was a little bit of a revelation, I have to be honest, that sense of equality that I really felt filming these scenes with another female.
The actresses are tipped to appear in nominations for this year's Oscars, which have been delayed until April because of the pandemic.
I found with this year in particular, there's a lot of really incredible, provocative, female-led stories that are going to just blow everything else out of the water.
Ammonite opens in cinemas on the 14th of January. Angela Bishop for 10 News First.
And now Katie's back with sport, and cricket's border battles aren't going away.
Yes, Candice, Cricket Australia are downplaying any dramas, but the tourists aren't happy. The sun's up for former North coach Reece Shaw, and a red-hot return for former Socceroo Tommy Urich. Also, take a seat, how a split-second decision in the NFL saved a win for the Giants.
See if our chat with comedian Eddie Perfect lives up to his name. That's next.
Let's go! We've already revealed some big names, and there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by one.
Whoa! A new celebrity will be revealed. Find out who, 7:30 tonight on 10.
You searched a place nearby. You found a renewed love for Australia. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers nearby from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Experience the Proform Kitchen's difference for yourself. Plus, order your new Proform Kitchen this month and receive free installation. Contact us for a free measure and quote, or visit our newly renovated showroom today.
Early Settlers Big Sale is now on. Up to 30% off our comfy sofas. Up to 40% off bedroom. Buy the chairs and get the table half price. Buy one table lamp and get one free. Outdoor furniture up to 30% off. Hurry, Early Settlers Boxing Day specials now in store.
Country is a family business, making it right here in SA. So let's make it modern. Let's make it automated.
Let's make it for you.
Country goes everywhere. So call today for a free measure and quote.
Everybody loves their country.
Look, cleaning the outside of your windows is a real chore. And who wants to climb a dangerous ladder just to get to the second floor? Not anymore.
Hi, I'm John Florell, the Fuller Brush Man. And this is Full Crystal from the Fuller Brush Company. The fastest, easiest way to clean all of your windows in minutes, not days. Just add the cleaning crystals, attach it to any garden hose, and away you go. The secret is in the Fuller cleaning crystals that dissolve dust, dirt, pollen, and grime in no time. And here's the best part. You don't have to remove your screens because Full Crystal cleans them too. This screen may look clean, but look how Full Crystal blasts away the dust, pollen, dirt, and grime while it cleans your window at the same time. And that'll save you a ton of time. Look, even with the ladder, you couldn't reach that window. But with the Full Crystal Power Sprayer, you can clean windows up to 27 feet high, leaving your windows spot-free, streak-free, and with both feet securely on the ground. Simply aim, spray, and walk away. For a clean so clear, your windows will virtually disappear.
Call Global Shop Direct or go online now to order the complete full crystal system with enough cleaning crystals for up to 20 windows for the low price on your screen. Full crystal is the fastest, easiest way to clean your windows. You'll never need to lug out the ladder again. But wait, if you order right now, we'll double the cleaning crystals. That's enough for up to 40 windows. We know you'll love how Full Crystal makes cleaning your windows easier than ever. But if for any reason you're not completely satisfied, just send it back within 30 days for a full refund of the product price. Get the cleaning system that will make your windows sparkle like they're brand new, without all the hard back-breaking work. Call or go online now to order Full Crystal today.
On the next Studio 10, Kerry Mulligan goes bad.
I wanted to be a doctor my whole life. I might want to get back into it.
Tomorrow on Studio 10.
Good evening. Cricket Australia has denied tension with its Indian counterpart over tough quarantine rules. But there are reports the Indians don't want to play ball. It comes as Nathan Lyon calls for both teams to suck it up and get on with it.
Masked up and ready to be locked down, the Aussies left Melbourne today, ready for the tougher restrictions to come.
In my eyes, it's a very small sacrifice for us to get out there and play the game that we love and put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces around the world. So in my eyes, we just have to suck it up and get on with it.
It appears India isn't as on board. Another report today said the tourists were still unhappy with plans to confine them to the team hotel, except for training and playing.
We've had nothing formal from the BCCI to suggest anything other than they're supportive, and so I can't comment on speculation.
India's Chadstone bubble breaches have all tested negative and are free to play. Cricket Australia positive. That will be in Sydney and then Brisbane.
In regular dialogue with our colleagues at the BCCI, I think both teams have wanted to play the schedule as we've set out.
Amid speculation over the schedule and the batting order, the bowlers are the least of the Australians' worries. But Lyon says even the attack needs to mix things up, especially their plans for stand-in skipper Ajinkya Rahane.
A century that all of India can savour.
Rahane played me extremely well in Melbourne, so I know I've already come up with a couple of different plans for him and a few different guys. So I'm looking forward to putting them in place.
Lyon could finish the series with 100 tests and 400 wickets, but for the spinner, they aren't the stats that matter.
It's more about the series for me. Those milestones will be nice to look at the end of my career.
Tim Morgan for 10 News First.
The lack of DRS in the BBL has been thrown into the spotlight yet again after another howler in Hobart. Stars opener Andre Fletcher given out caught behind despite his bat clearly hitting the ground. It did little to slow down the Stars, who set the Hurricanes 184 for victory off the back of an unbeaten 97 to Marcus Stoinis.
Another day, another Big Bash blunder.
Has he hit the ground or has he hit them?
He's given him! Well, it had to come. There was uncertainty. Fletcher's short innings comes to a close.
Andre Fletcher sent back to the sheds, but the replay showed he never struck the ball, and even the keeper agreed.
I didn't think he nicked it, no, boys. I thought he hit the ground, but it sort of did swing away from him.
The howler is just the latest in a long list of umpiring mistakes this season.
He hasn't stopped shaking since the moment that happened. He's still
not happy. No. Well, would you be? This is careers.
While Fletcher was seeing red, his replacement Marcus Stoinis was seeing the Kookaburra like beach balls.
Oh, Stoinis, first ball, if you don't mind, takes on Boda and puts him out into the trees.
Fellow opener Nick Larkin also failed to fire for the Stars, going for 4, while Glenn Maxwell made just 6.
Gone! Sandy for the huge wicket of Maxwell.
Stoinis, the clear star of the innings.
He's going to bring up his 50 with a maximum.
Last night, the Sixers thrashed the Strikers by 7 wickets. Adelaide coach Jason Gillespie sticking by his top order after they missed the mark yet again.
Top edge, little gone. Reynolds hasn't quite fired yet at the top, but look, what a quality player he is, and he's striking the ball really well, so we feel he's not far away.
Rashid Khan again showed why he's considered the world's best T20 spinner, taking 3 for 18. Jace Kemp for 10 News First.
While it has raised eyebrows, Damien Hardwick's new relationship with a Richmond club staffer won't see him out of a job. In a brief statement today, the Tigers confirmed that Hardwick is in a relationship with a member of the club's administration staff, and they have no concern with this under their policies. The three-time premiership coach isn't due to return to the club until next month. Rhys Shaw will make a heartwarming return to the AFL. Just months after standing down as head coach of North Melbourne due to mental health issues, Shaw will move north to take up a role as head of development with Gold Coast.
Needed to be ready for it and needed to feel that he's had some time away from the game to be able to work out where his next role in football would be. We just needed some time to pass before we could commence those discussions. But he's in a really good spot and he's really looking forward to it.
The move will see Shaw and Stuart Dew reunite after spending time together as assistants at Sydney. After a tough couple of years, former Socceroos regular Tommy Urich looks primed to return to his best. The Adelaide United striker scored his first goal for the Reds in 7 years yesterday on a tough night for Melbourne City.
Cooling off after a red-hot return to life as a Red, former Socceroo Tommy Urich made an immediate impact in Adelaide United's first home game for nearly 300 days.
Dorigo cuts it back and here's Urich! Brilliantly worked!
It's been a rough couple of years, so that one meant a lot, and especially coming back home now, as I said, home fans, first home game, first 3 points, so everything just looked good yesterday.
United's 2-0 win was made easier by a brain snap from Melbourne City skipper Scott Jamieson.
He's off. He's gone. Second yellow.
And he knows he's on a yellow card, and that is a silly challenge.
The smashing City goal.
Down 3-0 at half-time, Callum Hudson-Odoi's late consolation goal did little to relieve the pressure on Blues boss Frank Lampard. Stuck in 8th, Chelsea would much rather be in Leicester City's position.
Tielemans! More beautiful football from Leicester.
A 2-1 win over Newcastle lifting the Foxes into 3rd. Josh Money for 10 News First.
Kiwi batsman Tom Latham would have felt sick to his stomach after Pakistan prevented this chance from going belly up.
Oh, Shan Masood shells it and Harris Hale picks it up. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Hail, hail, Harris Hale, who made the right gut call to lunge for the ball. His sharp catch claiming a clever dismissal and also our play of the day. Absolutely cracking reflexes, Candice.
Very impressive.
Deserving of the pile-on.
100%. Well, Jade's back after the break with all your weather details.
Leaked tapes of Donald Trump reveals a desperate president next.
Let's go!
We've already revealed some big names, and there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by one.
Whoa. A new celebrity will be revealed. Find out who, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Sometimes, even the best tenants can cause damage to your investment property that standard building insurance may not cover. Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, provides the cover you need for your property and rental income. Have confidence that your investment property is in safe hands.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
So much family fun at the Hahndorf Farm Barn. Playgrounds, pony rides, tractor rides. Feed the animals and pack a picnic. We love the Hahndorf Farm Barn. See you there.
I love the Hahndorf Farm Barn.
Come and meet the team at Knowles Island Star. Real enthusiasts with first-hand experience. They don't just sell the dream, they live it. So they'd love to help with your selection. A touring van, a family van. New or used. Chances are you'll realise your dream here at Adelaide's Oasis of Caravans, and you'll love the way they do business.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans.
The Myer Stocktake sale is on. Shop 15% off the original price of appliances by Breville, Tefal, Sunbeam and more, and 30% off Kids Essentials ticketed tees and shorts. Conditions and exclusions apply. In-store and online now.
My store.
Macleay's Carpets Genuine Sale. South Australian owned and operated. Proudly stocking Australian-made carpets. Redbook Potters Lane Carpet, $24 per square metre. Australian-made and 15-year guarantee. Rated extra heavy duty. Longridge Laminate AC5 quality. And curtains made to measure. Macleay's Carpets, business as usual. Great prices during tough times. Coghlan Street, Brompton. Or visit our showroom, Glen Osmond Road, Frueville.
It's hot. Too hot. So do something delicious about it. McCafe Iced Coffee. Real coffee, real cold. And absolutely perfect for summer mornings. Drive through today.
The Sleeping Duck Motherboard Multi-Zone Pocket Spring System. Perimeter zoning that lets you sleep right to the edge, delivering up to 20% extra functional space, which makes the queen-size mattress feel like a king. Sleeping Duck.
You searched a place nearby. You found a renewed love for Australia. Trivago. Compare accommodation offers nearby from the leading brands worldwide and find the right deal for you. Hotel, holiday home, family time. Trivago.
Hello again. A mostly dry and mild day across SA, although coastal regions, including Kangaroo Island, saw a few drops late morning and early afternoon. The city dipped to 17 overnight and it didn't move too much higher, reaching a top of 21 before 11 a.m. A touch warmer for northern suburbs, with Elizabeth climbing to 24. Glenelg hit a high of 22. It was cooler in the hills, 17 degrees. We could still see another drizzle along the far west coast and about the peninsulas tonight. However, it will remain dry in the north. The mercury reached a warm 30 degrees at Roxby Downs. South, strong southerly winds at Port Pirie tonight, where it hit 31. Maitland was a cooler 22. On the Limestone coast, Naracoorte was a pleasant 23. Temperatures in Mount Gambier are still well below average, with a top of 18, 23 at Port Lincoln. A quick look around the country. A wet day in Cairns in wake of ex-tropical cyclone Imogen. Melbourne was a cooler day, 19, drying, gusty in Perth, 31 degrees. Plenty of action on the satellite image tonight, with cloud extending right down the east coast. In the north, we're seeing the remnants of Imogen bringing heavy falls to North Queensland. We're also seeing widespread showers and storms in New South Wales and Victoria. Tomorrow, a high pressure system over the Bight will continue to keep conditions stable through SA. Although moist onshore winds means we could see a little bit of cloud about the coast. Troughs will trigger widespread showers and storms along the east coast, while ex-tropical cyclone Imogen continues to dump heavy falls along North Queensland. Normanton in the Gulf country saw 263 millimetres in wake of the system. Areas about Townsville could see 100 mils fall tomorrow. For our capitals tomorrow, mostly sunny in Brisbane, 32. Sydney could see a storm, 27. Heat increasing in Perth, 36 degrees. Back to SA now. Dry apart from a slight chance of light showers about southern and far western coasts. Windy in Ceduna, 22 degrees. Partly cloudy in Roxby Downs, 30. Blue skies in Clare, 25. Further south, dry but cloudy conditions, warm with a top of 30 on KI, 27 at Keith. Naracoorte going for a top of 24. Mount Gambier is forecast to reach 20. Closer to the city, partly cloudy but dry. Elizabeth set to reach 25. 23 at Noarlunga and Murray Bridge. If you are on the water, winds will be southeasterly, 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 25 knots by the evening. Seas rising to 2 metres by the afternoon. The city will dip to 13 tonight before a mild top of 24, partly cloudy in the morning, clearing by the afternoon. And the mercury will continue to rise during the week, 25 on Wednesday, 28 forecast on Thursday. The cloud should disappear by Friday, 32 degrees, 34 on Saturday.
Returning now to the stories making news in Adelaide this hour. Heartfelt tributes for a father from Riverton killed after hitting a tree near Kapunda. His death is the second on the state's roads this year. An online frenzy tipped as the next round of government-funded accommodation vouchers counts down to tomorrow's release date. And a witness account as a tinny circles out of control with the driver rescued from the Port River. A mid-north town has been rocked by the death of a young father. He was killed when his car crashed into a tree in the early hours of this morning. Tiffany Warren has the details.
Emergency services were called to this long stretch of Tarlee Road at Kapunda around 4:30 this morning. Behind the wheel, 30-year-old Zach Oranger. It's believed his car left the road and collided with a tree. Sadly, he died at the scene. Zach's heartbroken family released a statement this afternoon saying words cannot describe how we are feeling and we will always love you unconditionally and forever. 10 News First also understands Zach was a father of 5 young children. The road was blocked off for half the day while major crash investigators attended. Locals say this crash will rock the small community.
The bends do come up on you, and they're up and down all the way. And
it would be terrible. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Obviously, our roads are dangerous any time of the year, but sometimes during the holidays it's worse.
This latest fatality brings the road toll to 2.
An 18-year-old girl accused of assaulting a police officer during New Year's Eve celebrations at Glenelg has been granted bail. Caroline O'Day has more.
After spending 4 days in custody, a magistrate this afternoon found good reason to release Tanea Clark on bail. She landed herself behind bars just after midnight on New Year's Day when the 18-year-old was arrested at Moseley Square and later charged with fighting and assaulting a worker. Prosecutors today told the court as police tried to break up a fight, a female officer was attacked. Clark is accused of grabbing, pushing and scratching the officer, leaving her needing medical attention. It's further alleged the teenager admitted to her involvement in the initial fight, saying it started after her friend was targeted. Given Clark has no criminal history, she was released and is required to stay away from Moseley Square. The matter returns to court in March.
The state government's determined to keep the Victorian border open despite more cases recorded in Melbourne. Cam Inglis has the story.
Yeah, 3 new cases in Victoria today, but that's not enough to sway the Premier and his plan to keep the border open. He says he has every confidence in the Victorian health team to put a net over the cluster and bring it under control as early as possible. So no changes are envisaged at this stage, but there is a transition committee meeting tomorrow if there are any developments. It is a massive win for the tourism sector, with the second round of SA travel vouchers being released at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. The accommodation vouchers worth $100 in the CBD or North Adelaide and $50 in all other postcodes. Prior to COVID, Victorians accounted for 40% of interstate spending, and this time around the vouchers will be available for those living interstate, but more than 50% will still be reserved for those living in SA.
Intrastate travel has been going gangbusters in South Australia. What we're doing now is trying to make sure that we can capture as much of that spend as the interstate borders open up.
But interstate visitors to South Australia spend on average 3 times that of a South Australian.
So for those keen to grab a voucher, well, they should set their alarm for 11 tomorrow and go to southaustralia.com, because if last round is anything to go by, these travel vouchers won't be around for long.
A boat driver has narrowly avoided injury after falling from his tinny before it spun out of control at Port Adelaide. Beth Excel has more.
Witnesses were shocked to see a tinny doing donuts on the Port River yesterday, its driver overboard, unable to stop it. It's unclear how the man ended up in the water just after 1 p.m, but witnesses say he was lucky to escape injury when the out-of-control boat went over the top of him twice. 2 men raced to help in a higher boat before police were called to his aid too. The Dolphin Explorer was forced to move out of the way as it came back into port. The whole thing lasted half an hour. The boat travelled from one side of the river to the other before police managed to get the boat against the wharf and switch the engine off.
I think they're both extraordinary gentlemen, and the fact that they were literally had just hired a boat, talk about good luck, and they were able to jump straight in, zoom straight across and grab him out. So pretty amazing.
The driver was taken to the shore by the 2 Good Samaritans, exhausted but uninjured.
SA Police has called reports of unaccounted for guns a concern, but says it's working with agencies to investigate the illicit trade. It comes as new data shows nearly 600 registered guns have been reported either lost or stolen in SA over the past financial year. That's 100 more than the previous 12 months, and the opposition says an alarming number of weapons could be in the wrong hands.
These numbers are alarming, and Vincent Tarsi's got some explaining to do about how
the state government is starting to see these sorts of concerns re-emerge when it comes to control of firearms in our state.
The state government says it's provided SA Police with $170 million in extra funding to address the issue. An explosive call has been leaked revealing Donald Trump's anger at a lack of compliance in overturning the election. In the conversation, the president turns up the pressure on one state's official. Here's our US correspondent, Eamon Ashton-Atkinson.
In a desperate bid to cling to power, President Trump attempts to pressure a top election official in Georgia to overturn the result.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
The explosive hour-long call between Donald Trump and the Republican Secretary of State is laced with unsubstantiated claims of election fraud.
You should want to have an accurate election. And you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have, not even close.
Incoming Vice President Kamala Harris labelling it an abuse of power.
Have you all heard about that recorded conversation? Well, it was, yes, certainly the voice of desperation.
Today, Vice President Mike Pence swore in senators while giving his backing to a plot by a dozen Republicans to object to certifying Joe Biden's win.
We have an obligation to the voters and we have an obligation to the Constitution to ensure that this election was lawful.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be inaugurated, and no publicity stunt that these guys are pulling are going to change that.
All the focus will now shift to Wednesday as Congress meets to try and finalise the election result. But there's a final stand looming for Donald Trump as he rallies his supporters as he claims to stop the steal. Eamon Ashton-Atkinson for 10 News First, Washington.
There's still no signs of life as rescuers continue to comb through the rubble from a landslide in Norway. So far, 7 bodies have been recovered, with at least 3 more people still believed to be missing. These pictures from a drone show the devastating impact on the small village just outside the capital, Oslo. At least 1,000 people have been evacuated amid fears of more landslides. Behind the Beatles, Jerry and the Pacemakers were one of Liverpool's finest exports. But today, the loss of frontman Jerry Marsden is being mourned after he succumbed to illness, aged 78. He most memorably gave voice to one of the greatest sporting anthems, You'll Never Walk Alone. It was famously adopted by Liverpool Football Club, who paid tribute online, saying Marsden will never walk alone. Hollywood superstar Mark Wahlberg is bringing his burgers to Australia to fire new life into our independent cinema scene. It's hoped the multi-million-dollar deal will bring new hope to a struggling industry.
He's the Hollywood heavyweight taking a big bite in Australia.
I'm so excited about the first Wahlburgers location in Sydney, Australia.
Mark Wahlberg has teamed up with independent chain United Cinemas, bringing his family's movie-themed restaurants down under.
It's all their favourite dishes when they were kids, when their mum was there, so they're 9 children in their family.
Sloppy Joe is a combination of beef, special sauce, and you can't really give you the ingredients.
It's the biggest cinema double act since Movies and Popcorn, worth more than $50 million and 500 jobs.
We're social human beings. We're not meant to be at home watching, movies on demand. You're meant to be out and about supporting those Aussies that are serving you.
The first Wahlburgers will open in Sydney's Circular Quay within months, with 15 more to come, including Melbourne's Craigieburn, Brisbane's Indooroopilly and Perth's Rockingham.
I met with Mark not long ago. He's a beautiful person. We have so much in common. It was just unbelievable.
The Mustaka family is now fighting to safeguard what's known as the theatrical window, the first 3 months when new movies can only be shown at the cinemas. When Wonder Woman was released in the States, it went to the movies and to home box office on the same day. Other countries have legislated, like France and Turkey, to protect the theatrical window. 12,000 Aussie cinema jobs depend on it. Ali Donaldson for 10 News First.
Katie returns with sport next, including the Aussies flying to Sydney for the third test and a career best 62 points for a Golden State superstar.
Raw pain and a slow recovery. The residents from Malakuta share their stories 1 year after bushfires swept through their tiny town.
It's Dynamic Home Enhancements Hot Summer Sale. Beat the heat. Get a cool 21% off your roller shutters. Dynamic Home Enhancements will also give you free installation and a free remote control, just to make life easy. Plus, no deposit, interest-free. Oh, don't forget to ask for your seniors discount. Save hundreds by calling one of Australia's largest roller shutter manufacturers.
Dynamic Home Enhancements.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's the last days of our Boxing Day sale, with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. You'd better get a move on. Amart Furniture. Sale ends tomorrow.
It makes sense to shop at Macleay's bulk store. Your parents, in fact your grandparents probably did. Carpet up to 60% off, rolls and remnants, a bit like me. Floating floors with exciting new colours. Coghlan Street, Brompton.
Looking for an excuse to buy a new Toyota? We've got the perfect one. It's plate clearance time.
Make any excuse this plate clearance. Get a 3.9% comparison rate across the Corolla hatch and sedan range. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Discover the Adelaide Hills during Crush, a summer weekend of stylish wines and regional produce. Experience the best of the hills at over 20 iconic wineries and venues. Crush Festival, 22nd to the 24th of January.
Nice Gerberas, Keith. You know what else is nice? Insurance that does what you need it to do. Some only insure your house for a set sum, but if anything happens, will that be enough for you to repair or rebuild it as it was?
Morning, Keith!
Don't worry, Amy has an option that does, or pays you the amount of an assessed quote to do so. Does your insurer have a complete replacement cover option? Amy does.
Everybody loves their country.
Country is a family business, making it right here in SA. Premium quality every day. Curtains, blinds, even zip tracks to create amazing outdoor rooms. So let's make it modern. Let's make it automated. Let's make it easy.
Let's make it for you.
Cities, suburbs or regions, Country goes everywhere. So call today for a free measure and quote. Is it any wonder?
Everybody loves their country. Let's go!
We've already revealed some big names, and there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by one.
Whoa. A new celebrity will be revealed. Find out who, 7:30 tonight on 10.
Suck it up and get on with it. That was the blunt message delivered by Nathan Lyon to both teams as they entered a stricter quarantine bubble. But whether the tourists are on board with that plan remains unclear.
Touchdown in Sydney. Both teams now headed for stricter quarantine rules. The very thing that has the visitors threatening a boycott of the Gabba test.
We've had nothing formal from the BCCI to suggest anything other than they're supportive.
I 100% think we're going there and planning and preparing for the Gabba.
Australia keen to play at their fortress. They haven't lost there in 32 years. Nathan Lyon blunt with his advice for India.
Suck it up and get on with it and get out there and play cricket for our respective countries.
Everyone's very clear on the expectations and what's involved, and I just can't thank both sets of players enough for their cooperation.
If the Brisbane Test does go ahead, it'll be Lyons' 100th in the baggy green, and he's just 6 wickets away from becoming Australia's third bowler to claim 400 wickets.
Everyone keeps talking about the Gabba Test match, but there's a massive Test match in just a couple of days at the SCG.
One that'll be played in front of just a 25% capacity crowd, as the GOAT backed David Warner to play, despite still battling to regain full fitness.
100%. I think David's an X-factor. He's a world-class batter. We all know that. So, yeah, I'm 100% expecting David to go out there.
They've never needed him more. Josh McLean for 10 News First.
Strikers coach Jason Gillespie has promised to stick by his top order, in particular Matt Renshaw. The opener has failed to fire so far for Adelaide, averaging just over 14 from 7 games.
Ren hasn't quite fired yet at the top, but look, what a quality player he is, and he's striking the ball really well, so we feel he's not far away.
No such problem for the bowlers. Rashid Khan showed why he's one of the best T20 players in the world, taking 3 for 18 in last night's loss to the Sixers. The Stars are the latest victims of a Big Bash umpiring blunder. Not even the Hurricanes' keeper could keep a straight face after Andre Fletcher was dismissed in the opening over.
Another day, another Big Bash blunder.
Has he hit the ground or has he hit them?
He's given him! Well, it had to come. There was uncertainty. Fletcher's short innings comes to a close.
Andre Fletcher sent back to the sheds, but the replay showed he never struck the ball, and even the keeper agreed.
I didn't think he nicked it, no, boys. I thought he hit the ground, but it sort of did swing away from him.
The howler is just the latest in a long list of umpiring mistakes this season.
He hasn't stopped shaking since the moment that happened. He's still
not happy.
No.
Why would you be? This is careers.
While Fletcher was seeing red, his replacement Marcus Stoinis was seeing the Kookaburra-like beach balls.
Oh, Stoinis, first ball, if you don't mind, takes on Boda and puts him out into the trees.
Fellow opener Nick Larkin also failed to fire for the Stars, going for 4, while Glenn Maxwell made just 6.
Gone! Sandy with a huge wicket of Maxwell.
Stoinis, the clear star of the innings.
He's going to bring up his 50 with a maximum.
The all-rounder smacking 7 4s and 7 6s to finish on 97 not out.
Got him. Has he got enough on it?
Oh, is that one bounce?
Stoinis falling just short of a final ball century. The Hurricanes now set the tough task of 184 to win.
It is a good shot. He gets it between the two men. The diving Zampa can't get a handle on it.
Jace Kemp for 10 News First.
Tommy Urich is back in Australia and back among the goals. The striker cooled off this morning after making a hot start to his Reds' return, netting the opener in Adelaide's first home game for nearly 300 days.
Dorigo cuts it back and here's Urich! Brilliantly worked!
It's been a rough couple of years, so that one meant a lot, and especially coming back home now, as I said, home fans, first home game, first 3 points.
The Reds' 2-0 win over Melbourne City came at a cost, with Ollie Roo's defender Ryan Strain to have scans on a sore groin. Pressure is mounting on Chelsea boss Frank Lampard after just 1 win in the Blues' last 6 games. The latest defeat coming at the hands of Man City.
Smashing City goal.
The 3-1 loss leaves Chelsea in 8th, despite spending nearly $400 million in the transfer window. Meanwhile, Leicester City climbed into 3rd with a 2-1 win over Newcastle. Steph Curry has returned to his best, with the Warriors superstar scoring a career-high 62 points against the Trailblazers. Needless to say, he needed cooling down post-match.
Another 3. Got it! 62! 62!
Visually and...
Get him!
Russell Westbrook ignited his newest feud against Kevin Durant, leading Washington to a 1-point win over the Nets. NFL, and this play could have been a real bummer. Wayne Gallman with the fumble and an unorthodox recovery, but there was no need to split the points. The bum got it done to secure the win. The Giants narrowly missing out on a wild card berth. Meanwhile, they're painting the town brown in Cleveland.
And it's over. For the first time in 18 years, the Cleveland Browns are going to the playoffs.
The Green Bay Packers are dancing their way into the playoffs after securing the #1 seed in the NFC. Candice, they have all of the moves in the NFL.
I do, I like it. Thanks so much, Katie. Jade's back next with the latest on Adelaide's forecast.
The celebrities have been given a good old-fashioned Aussie welcome.
Oh, Struth.
They've been bitten, hissed at, thrown out, and creepy crawled. We've already revealed some big names. And there's still more to come.
Your herd is about to grow by one.
A new celebrity will be revealed.
We are just getting started.
Oh, let's go!
Find out who's going in 7:30 tonight.
Good evening. A great time to go dodo, because it always is. See, we're an energy company that chips in for your internet. With unlimited NBN plans now from just $60 a month when you combine with electricity. TimetoGoDodo.com.
Early Settlers Big Sale is now on. Up to 30% off our comfy sofas. Up to 40% off bedroom. Buy the chairs and get the table half price. Buy one table lamp and get one free. Outdoor furniture up to 30% off. Hurry, Early Settlers Boxing Day specials now in store.
You seem a bit nervous.
I'm in a wheelchair.
Wouldn't you rather be in a kayak?
Hello. Are you okay?
She needs a name.
Penguin. It's okay. I didn't think I was strong enough.
Now this is a story all about how fast food got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how to dish your fries and eat fresh everywhere. Burgers and fries, we were born and raised with the dirty birds having their greasier ways. I took one huge bite of that foot-long bread and said, yo, skip the grease and eat fresh instead.
Our biggest savings event of 2021.
Adelaide's biggest blind and awning sale.
The end of year, once a year sale. Burns for blinds. All 2020 blinds and curtains must go, will go, regardless of price. All indoor blinds saved up 50%. All outdoor blinds saved up 50%. All security doors and screens, even curtains.
Nobody beats Burns for blinds.
All blinds, all shutters, all security doors, all curtains.
Phone Burns for blinds now.
The once a year end of year sale will end soon. Don't miss it.
After COVID hit, my husband was stood down indefinitely, so we set up a Vietnamese pop-up together. We both felt quite stressed about the complete uncertainty of the whole situation. We definitely felt like we had to make some big changes.
It's tough out there, Australia. Every cent counts. Make sure your insurance is about where you're at right now. You could save lots. Yui, you insured. It's insurance for individuals like you.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
Every week I've consistently lost weight, and the new Jumpstart program really kick-started that for me.
Light and Easy made it pretty easy for me to lose it. I didn't have to think about it. The weight just kept dropping off.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today.
Up next, 0 cases in Sydney overnight. Why authorities say that might not tell the whole story.
It's important that we keep that testing regime up.
As COVID dominates our lives, has climate change become the forgotten crisis? And we've lined up the perfect chat with actor and comedian Eddie Perfect. The Project next.
Jade Kotick's back now with the weather, and Jade, it's heating up.
It certainly is, Candice. After a cool to mild day in the south, temperatures will rise by the end of the week. Temperatures were below average. The city reached a top of 21. Right now it's 20 degrees, but it only feels like 17. As we go to air tonight, a cloud band is extending down the east coast and it's triggering widespread showers and storms. In the north, we're seeing the remnants from ex-tropical cyclone Imogen dumping heavy falls across North Queensland. Tomorrow, a high pressure system over the Bight will keep conditions stable through SA, although moist onshore winds means we could see a little bit of cloud cover along the coast and in Adelaide. No rain is expected to come from this, but there is a chance the Northwest Pastoral District could see a few drops in the gauges. The heaviest falls will be along the north. Areas about Townsville could see more than 100 millimetres. A quick look around the country: storms in Cairns 32, Sharratu in Canberra 27, wet in Melbourne, partly cloudy in Alice Springs 30 degrees. Back to SA, dry apart from the slight chance of a shower about southern and far western coasts. Becoming windy at Port Augusta, a top of 26, partly cloudy at Woomera with a forecast top of 29, sunny at Clare 25 degrees. In the upper and lower southeast, a cloudy day on the cards for Narra Court and Mount Gambier, 20 degrees on KI, 22 at Port Lincoln. The Barossa Valley will remain dry, mostly sunny, 25. Closer to the city, partly cloudy with south to southeasterly winds, staying dry in Noarlunga and Murray Bridge expected to reach 23, 21 in the hills, 24 at Glenelg, 25 in the north. The city will fall to 13 tonight before a partly cloudy top of 24, and warming up in the days ahead. 25 on Wednesday, partly cloudy but dry. The cloud will clear on Thursday to a mostly sunny 28. Blue skies returning on Friday, 32 degrees. Look at that forecast, Candice. Wonderful, isn't it?
Lovely. Definitely heating up. Thank you so much, Jade. That is Adelaide's 10 News First for now. I'll have updates throughout the evening. Good night.